Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to TKKN and Buff Save the Universe, episode number 40. I'm Chris Adams, Tech and Master, joined by.
Buff Larkin. Oh boy, is it going to be an exciting show today? I'm going to tell you why. Because something that Tekken's been waiting for at least 7 years is finally happening, and he's all excited. Is it his immigration papers to Canada? No, no,
Oh,
not
that's also
not
depressing, though, because it's not.
not not yet. But it's something that will take him away from the realness of America for at least 40 to 45 hours. And that's if he wants to. I think he's hoping for 100 hours at least, maybe two, but you never know. And that is, what's steampunk? What's it called?
Wow. Cyberpunk
Cyberjack?
2077.
Oh, yes, Cyberjack 2077.
Whatever.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he's very excited about it. And that's going to be most of our talk today because for the wow, first, how are you, Tekken?
I'm,
We never actually talk about how you're doing.
I'm alive. I'm fine.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
maybe
moved
that's the reason
out.
why we don't
I'm
ask you these
back. I'm
questions.
back in my grandparents' basement after like 10 years or whatever. So,
Grandma and Grandpa Tekken. But at least but at least you're not in that cesspool of an apartment building that you were at.
what's that
Where
supposed to mean?
where 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 you were afraid to even open your door because it was like you ever see that movie The Blob, and the
Uh,
blob comes down the hallway. That was kind of like what was your cesspool of an apartment
I've
place
seen the
because
old version. I saw the new
yeah,
version, but that was like on TV. Like
yeah,
I don't remember any much of it. So yeah, but
yeah.
I've seen both. But yeah,
So basically instead of the blob being a blob, it's like COVID, and it just comes around your cesspool that you had to be in. So now you're out and you're in a safe area, and that's the important thing for all who listen here. You are safe with Grandma and Grandpa Tekken.
whoa! There's
Hello,
like an earthquake. We just had an earthquake. There's just like a really big rumble. There's been like three of these since I've been here. It's freaking me out, man. But whatever.
America, America, America. Are they fracking in your backyard?
I not literally in my backyard, but I imagine somewhere nearby.
Now, when you moved into your grandparents' place, did they tell you about no fracking in your room?
No, they didn't.
Oh, well. Well, that's good. Progressive grandparents. That's very nice. Anyways, Tekken, you can frack whoever you want. Absolutely. All right. Anyways, enough of this. Enough of this silly chant of what we talked about. Oh, by the way, I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. I know that.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot. You know, dealing with shoplifters and all that. But hey, I appreciate you worried about my safety. Absolutely.
At least your government cares about you enough to give you money every month. Or whatever they're doing in
Kind.
Canada. That's better than what we're doing.
There you go.
Then like
Or whatever.
here's $1,200. Have fun surviving for 9 months.
The best part is
Don't
you don't
bother
know
me.
in Canada anybody over 50 is killed. We've now gone into the Logan Run kind of a thing. Was it Logan Run or Blade Runner that you hit a certain age and they chop you and they kill you?
What? What are you talking about?
There's a movie set in the 80s. Either it was Logan. I don't think it was. I think it
It's
was Blade
not
Runner.
Blade Runner. That's not how that works, dude. That's about
Logan Run
replicants. I
or
am
something
very
like
well
that.
versed in Blade Runner, okay? And
Yeah.
that ain't how it works.
Oh yeah, Blade Runner was Harrison Ford was a robot,
He's
and
not. Oh my gosh, seriously.
he dreamt about a unicorn.
Okay, here's
Anyway,
the thing, dude. Is like Blade Runner, into the movie, depending on which version you see, it's ambiguous, open to interpretation. That being said, Blade Runner 2049, they they solve that mystery, so it's not so much left open to interpretation.
oh there you go. And that's what they're making the game out of. Was it
No,
Blade Runner
what are you? I mean,
2048?
no, 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 no. I wish sometimes I had a phone bat and I could just like hit you and just like say that. And just like every time you say something stupid or just like isn't not right at all and just teach you your lesson of like, no, 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 no. And just, that's
No.
not what, no.
So I'm a pet. You'd have a little spray mister, and if I just say something bad, you'd miss me. Oh, I
No,
know you
because it'd
miss
be a
me,
foam
but
bat
you'd
because
miss
that would
me.
be more, I would enjoy that more.
That would send the point. across real
I don't
quick.
think it would. I don't think it would.
I don't. I'd
Maybe it
actually
was like
probably
an electric prod or something, but if it's a foam bat,
actually I
I just
probably
know you
like
do it
that.
again. But then I could hit you again, and it felt great every
Yeah,
time.
but then you do that and I pee on the floor.
What?
Well, you give me electric current, I lose all faculties together. So things will be, and then you'd have to clean up the pee. So
I
you
mean, I don't
take that
have
into
to. Just
you don't
saying.
have. Well, it's your grandparents' place, so you should clean up your for the sake of that, or you'll be totally fracked. That's for sure. Anyways, so you don't know. So you think that you get earthquakes there?
No, we do. We've had like three since I've been here. At least three, anyway. Because I felt them every time, and I was like, "What the f was that?" And then on
That's
the
not
news, it was
normal.
like, "Oh, had an earthquake."
That's not normal, Tekken.
Yeah, I know it's not normal.
Like three like that. That's you're in, like you like okay. So what's your options? Having the earth move under your feet like 3 times since you moved in since early December, or living in the cesspool of your old apartment complex. Like I'm sure when you walked, like you hardly left your place, but I do know that if you left your place and you went downstairs, there's probably some hoochie saying, "Hey, baby, you want some COVID?" And then,
That is not true at all.
hey, honey, why don't you come on in here? I'll give you some COVID. And you're like, get away from me, hoochie. I'm not listening to you.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah, there'd be some hard fracking right there. That's for sure. Anyways, we're back. Listen, after that little tirade that you started. Let's talk about Cyberjack
Well, you're the one
27.
that is like, "Oh, I don't remember what it was. Maybe it was Blade Runner. Oh, for that
No,
Logan thing or
I'm
whatever the
yeah,
episode."
Logan. So which one is the one that okay? I think he hit 30 years old and that's it. Then they stop chopping you down because they have to control the population, right? And I think I guess it wasn't Blade Runner. Then it was like Logan's Run or something like
I
that.
don't even know what Logan's Run is.
They made a comic book about it.
It's
Anyways, anyways, enough of you steering this whole conversation off course. All I know
oh,
is
that
that
was me. I think that was you.
this. Do you want me to get my phone bat out and hit you with it? Absolutely. Now, let's talk about Cyberjack 2078. All right.
Such a
So,
jerk.
yes, I am. All right. Cyberpunk 2077. It is something that has been in the winds for the last 7 years. And oh, finally, apparently, if my sources are correct, I have one source out in Western Canada that's saying, is it? And so I'm going to listen to him. That is it going to come out this week? I don't think it will, but you never know. Are you excited if it does come out? It's going to come out Thursday, right?
Yeah, and I am excited. So yes.
Uh, Now, uh, I want you to. We're going to talk about in a couple of stages here. First, we're going to get what the story is. I know there's not much to tell. I get, but you're going to give us because you're the one who's been studying this game for the last 7 years. So you're going to let us know what the game is all about, and then do they have they given us prices yet for the game?
Yeah, it's $60 American. So do your
Oh,
calculations, everybody
120
else.
Canadian. Yep, 120 Canadian, and that's cheap. Is that like a PS4?
Yeah, because it's not. It doesn't have a PS5 or Xbox Series X version yet. So
So basically, wait another 7 years,
mm,
and then we'll get the PS5 version.
I mean, they said something about. I'd have to look up the article, dude. But where it's like basically you get like a free upgrade to the next gen version when you buy it, at least digitally. So I know I'm good. So I don't really care about everybody else. So whatever.
Okay, so
And then
$60. That's
PC
not
is
bad.
like can like be super bleeding edge of like whatever you're running. So
And are they offering any like, hey, the platinum model, you get a free skin,
no,
or you get
there's none of that
no,
crap. 'Cause that's not how CD Projekt Red does stuff.
they just offer it later on.
No, that.
They offer
Oh my gosh,
DLCs
you're so
afterwards.
annoying.
No, they're
They
not.
do
No,
have
because
DLCs afterwards,
thank you,
yes, but
thank you,
but
thank
I
you.
mean that's not something that's like you're not gonna be able to get if you're getting the game when it's out.
Okay.
And then later on, they're gonna rebundle it with the rest of the game anyway, and call it like the game of the year edition or something, or like complete edition or whatever. So, because that what they did. That's what they did with all the other games. Well, not other games, but like I shouldn't say all the other games because they have like other stuff I haven't played. I'm sure, but like I'm specifically talking about like Witcher 1, Witcher 2, Witcher 3, and well, Gwent's free to play, so it doesn't count. But yeah, those ones, and then I'm sure they're gonna do the same thing for Cyberpunk. And they said something
Hmm.
about that too, I believe. So yeah, there's like DLC coming. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's good. That's very good news. So, tell us more about the story of Cyberpunk 2077.
I actually don't know very much about the story because I'm trying to like not know as much before I play it, so I don't have it spoiled. But basically, or I can like have it. I can enjoy it when I play it. But basically, the only things I know are basically when they showed the that one trailer that one time, and it was like the whole chip thing that like chip of immortality or whatever. There's that thing that's like one of the things, and apparently there's also like Johnny Silverhand is like a thing, which is Keanu Reeves' character. I don't really know too much about that either. Just that he's one of those rocker boys, I guess, which is like a whole thing in the game of like type of character you can be or something. It's a whole thing because it's based on a pen and paper RPG, and that was one of the classes I believe. But I'm not too privy on that. Also, your character you play as V, who is a well, depending on like what your path is or whatever. They had this other video they put out where it was like pathways or life path or something, and basically there's like three background choices. So you have the nomad person who's like not in Night City, which is like the I guess main hub world. We'll see when like you play. Uh, and they're like they're out in the wastelands. Well, because it's been in like 27/7, it's dystopian cyberpunk situation where everything's basically just like gone to crap, and there's been just yeah, you'll see. And then like just corporations run everything. It's dystopian setting, and it's not a fun time. Like things have gone down. And then you've got you got Nomad, you've got Street Kid or Street, who's just like in Night City, and like just living on the like bottom tiers of society. And then you've got Corporate, who's I guess someone who works at like a job, or not a job, a
Hmm.
corporation is trying to like work their way up to like the chain of back backstabbing cutthroat success that way. And there's like the three main backgrounds you have. And you can play as it's very much like Mass Effect, where you can like choose a male or female protagonist, and like
Hmm.
choose your cosmetic, like what your character looks like and all that stuff.
So, 7 years. That's an awfully long time.
Hmm.
What is your expectations going into this game?
Okay, so here's the thing: is like, I mean, obviously I have high expectations, but like coming off of Witcher 3, which was like the best game I've played this year, and like the best game I've ever played, honestly, because it's like, man, I played that, and it was just like, wow, that was just better than anything else I've played in a long time. Or just,
Hmm.
or I guess, okay, or I guess like to put it in perspective, essentially, is like that game's open world, and so it's, I guess like, yeah, it's open world, a bunch of RPG elements. So it basically has like the best of like real time Western RPG combat and like character elements, story elements, RPG elements, and then all the open world elements that make you want to play a game that's open world, and then the way that the story was crafted and just the narrative, the rest of how you move from chapter to chapter, location to location, story moment, character beat, narrative arcs, peaks and valleys, and all that stuff. It was just like the best of like any game I've played. So it's like basically that sets the my expectations of like what I expect from Cyberpunk. And because basically I'm a huge fan of just like Cyberpunk, that genre in general, like we talked about Blade Runner earlier, but like I effing love Ghost in the Shell. Like Ghost in the Shell is like also one of my favorites.
Hmm.
Psychopaths is amazing. Altered Carbon this year, oh, that's like my second favorite. It's like, or it's like close. It's like Altered Carbon. I think is like my new favorite because it's perfection of like cyberpunk and like what it can be, and just like it's amazing. And just I watched it first season. Untouchable is like one of the best ever. Second season is pretty good too, and it's like not as good as season one, but it's still effing good. Um, but yeah, just like taking all of that and then finally playing, being able to play like a game that is from that type of genre, and just like have it be as good as like CD Projekt Red does, because their games are always effing awesome. Because Witcher 3, man, and Witcher 1 and 2 are pretty good for their time, but 3 was just like, dude, like if that's like the bar right there, it's like where it's set. And then and then like, there are Cyberpunk games out there, but there's so few and far in between that it's just like it makes a clamoring of just like, I want something like this, but like this. So yeah, there's Deus Ex, and Deus Ex is really good, but I honestly felt Mankind Divided is not as good as like Human Revolution. Human Revolution is really good too, but it's last gen, so they haven't like remastered it or done anything like that. Not that they need to, but I'm just saying, like when Mankind Divided came out, I enjoyed it, but I did not like I don't want to say I wasn't satisfied. It didn't live up to my expectations. Like I'm hoping that Cyberpunk does. And then besides, Deus Ex, because the JC Didn't game from back in the day, Invisible War, or Conspiracy, or whatever it's called. No, Invisible War is the second game. I'm sorry. So Deus Ex, the first one that's on PS2 and PC. That's also like one of my favorite games like ever. It's just like really high up there. So I'm just like winning another game like that, that's in the genre, that does everything justice, and like is as good as that. They can like go back and like replay and replay and replay. Because I bought like Human Revolution was also like pretty good too. I wouldn't say as good as like the original, but it's pretty close. And I played that game a lot. So I'm hoping that Deus Ex. I'm sorry. I'm hoping that Cyberpunk 2077 is like in that vein of just being that good. And since we know CG Projekt Red can like make good games, obviously they have the pedigree. So it's like it puts it to where I have these expectations of like, I hope it's that good as like their past games. And then since it's in the genre that I love, and like it's a both like a game genre, since it's open world with RPG elements and all that stuff, like Witcher, and also just Cyberpunk in general, just with all the cool dystopian futuristic stuff. I'm just hoping it does it all justice, and is a nice complete package, and you play through it and you're like, oh, that was amazing, and then you go and play through it multiple times after that because it was that effing good, just like Witcher 3.
So, are you ready to be disappointed?
No, I'm not. What do you mean by that?
Well, after 7 years of build up and build up and build up and build up and hopes and dreams, and now that you've played Witcher and the Witcher series, so now you've had a taste of what the possibilities could be with this game. So your expectations have all of a sudden risen to a height of where you don't want to be disappointed. But my question is, are you ready to be disappointed if some of the features don't come through for you?
Mm, I mean, I don't really understand the question, but like if it's,
I know you're expecting Witcher 3 levels
mm-hmm,
of this gameplay.
mm-hmm.
So are you ready to not have that?
uh, I'm just ready to play it and see
Yeah, are
how
you
it is.
are you going to enjoy it even though it is not to a Witcher's 3 level of gameplay?
Yeah, if it's not, if it's not as good as Witcher 3, it's like I'm fine, because it's like it just going from like the E3 demo they put out that was like an hour long, even though they've said that they've cut features that were shown in that, like when you're climbing up or down the wall. I can't remember what the Arasaka Manus arms. Like even though like that's not in the game, it's like just like I just watched that video that's like an hour long, and it's like, this is the game I want. Like this game gets me hyped. It has everything in it I want. It's got dialogue trees. It's got the dialogue choices of like, you've got a certain amount of time to react sometimes. It's got the choices that basically like a Telltale game of like, they will have consequences and eventually dovetail into like even like payoffs of like whatever your choices have been because of the consequences. So it's got all that stuff there as far as like that, and then like all the gameplay looks fine, and like just it looks fine anyway as far as like graphics. So just from that demo, it's like I'm cool whatever happens.
Good. So you talked about some of the characters that you could play in this game.
Well, there's only one V.
The V, yes, but then they're saying there's some kind of different kind of classes, right?
I actually don't know how. I mean, I know. from what they showed earlier, I'm not sure if it's still based on that, but like your clothes that you wear like affects your stats. So you have that, and then you also have a skill tree that you put your skill points into to build your character how you want them to be. So there's that. I'm not sure because I've never played Cyberpunk, the like pen and paper tabletop game, like but besides the Rocker Boy class because they talked about it because of the Jedi Silverhand. I'm not too sure like what the other. Well, I guess there's like hackers and netrunners, but because I did play what did I play? Oh yeah, there's another Cyberpunk game called Shadowrun. There's this really good. It's okay. It plays like XCOM, but graphically it doesn't look like XCOM. It looks like a like old school Diablo isometric grid style,
Hmm.
but it is still that like turn-based tactical when you're actually playing it. But
Yeah.
I played that, and there is like I can't remember if like they said that like Shadowrun. I looked it up on Wikipedia. It was something about like it was very heavily influenced. So, you have like the street samurai, you've got hackers, you've got netrunners, you've got magic users, but there's no magic in Cyberpunk. I believe that was like what made Shadowrun unique was like it was a really cool like fantasy with super duper sci-fi. It's pretty cool actually. You should check it out. But yeah, I believe that is how it goes in Cyberpunk as well. It's like there's you can like go to the hacking. Oh, actually, no. I remember now. They did show that one. There's like I've only seen a few trailers and I stopped watching them like this year because I was like I don't want to see anything else. I just want to be going like completely blind. But they had like a demo or a trailer that they had where it's like strong solo, and then I can't remember the other one. But basically, you had like your tanky class build that could just like go in and shoot up the place, and then you had like the hacker slash netrunner that would just like hack things and then like get around obstacles that way and just like sneak by. But yeah, I'm not sure what the classes are, but there's a lot of like freedom in how you build your character and stuff like that.
Very good. So, how long of game do you want this to be?
It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me.
100 hours?
I mean, I, I mean, I kind of. I mean, it doesn't.
If you get Witcher 3 level of gameplay, right?
Hmm.
And
Well, I'm
therefore
trying to
it's a
remember how
game.
long it was when I played that game, but it's like I'm not. I mean, I know it was a long game, but I don't remember. It was. I mean, I feel like it was like minimum 60 on my first Witcher 3 playthrough. So, but then I don't remember. But it's like I would imagine like something like that where it's like at least 40, like 40 minimum, at least for the first playthrough.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. So, that comes out Thursday, and you're not going to come out to Fall Guys because all of a sudden Fall Guys is trash, so that's okay. And
Actually, I'm
then
thinking that it might not be out yet by because it comes out. If wait, hold on. Wait,
it
no,
comes
never mind.
out
That'd be Wednesday
Thursday.
at midnight. Never mind. So yeah, it'll be out. Yeah, it'll be there. Yeah, you're right. So what are you gonna say about Fall Guys? Whatever. Blah blah
Fall
blah.
Guys, you think it's garbage, so that's so,
It's not that. It's just I'd rather play effing Cyberpunk.
is because your crowns have you're still getting crowns, but they're not coming at the rate that they used to, right? So are you so you're giving up on that? You said I just
No,
gonna
it's because I'm not playing it as often. So I'm only playing it every week, and since the new season's not out yet, I'm level 40. So there's no reason for me to play except to get crowns. And it's like I have enough. I have like 30 or more or whatever. So it's like I don't need to play. So it's whatever.
perfect. Okay, but you'll come out for golf.
No, I'll be playing Cyberpunk. I'll be there next
Cyberpunk.
week. I'm sure I'll finish it by
I
then,
tell,
maybe.
I tell you what, will you at least be on the party chat?
No,
Why?
because I want to soak in and be immersed in the game I'm playing, and not have people talking in my ear while I'm playing.
I don't talk in your ear.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to stream all this?
Yes.
Perfect. Good. Well then, yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. So, besides that, what else have you been playing this week?
This week I played this game called Ruiner. That's pretty intense. It was also a Cyberpunk game. This game called Observer, which is pretty cool, but weird and creepy and intense, and just like was not what I thought it would be because I didn't know what it would be, and it just was not what I thought it would be at all. And I was just like, wow, this is a weird game. And I actually enjoyed it because it's very slow. So I actually enjoyed the pacing and like it's it is like so much different from like all the other like so many other games I've played because it's very little. It's first person, but like you're basically just like walking around and like investigating the environments, and it made me appreciate it because it is very slow, but in a good way, to where it just gives itself time to breathe and like you go from like environment to environment, scene to scene, but like the whole time you can just like take it all in and just like appreciate it and just like be like, or just I guess it's just like so refreshing coming off like so many first person games where like all I do is shoot people, and like in this one you're just like investigating and like doing something completely different, but it's still like as interactive, so you can like open all these drawers and like scan the environment and like look for clues because essentially what like the premise of the game at the beginning, because I'm not gonna say too much because I don't want to spoil it if you haven't played it, but like you stumble upon you go to this crime scene and you try to find like what happened. So you're basically just like investigating something, which I also thought was cool because I very thoroughly enjoy like detective stories and hero detectives.
Hmm.
Big Batman fan, so it just felt very cool to like play something in that vein, and then just get super weird because it's cyberpunk as well, and just like you have this I can't remember what it's called, but you have like some thingy that lets you like mind jack into people, but it gets super weird. So that was neat and just like completely different from what I've been playing and just really refreshing. And I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I had to like stop because it got like a bit intense, and I was like, okay, that's a lot. Okay, that's good. That's good, Observer. Let me just take a break now because man, it does like yeah, man. And they did like a PS5 upgraded version, but I haven't played it. So, but I have to buy it again, so it's not happening because it's like, dude, I'm not buying this game twice. So yeah, but I would recommend it if you're into that type of stuff. The whole noir, detective, first person, cyberpunk, investigatory. If any of that stuff is your jam, there you go. Also, it's pretty cool because it takes place in Poland, and like all the like posters and everything are like written in not English, so it's very like I am not in America. So that was cool too. And it has here's another cool thing. It's like the intro at the very beginning is like super duper like you can tell it was like inspired by Blade Runner because it's like got like a wall of text and it says like you're an observer, you are a tool of the state. So that's the other thing. I'm sorry. There's like a bunch of cool like small things about this game. So like when you're going in to investigate, but like after that intro, it talks about there was like this Third World War, but it doesn't call it that. It just says like the Great Decimation, where like the East killed the West killed the East, and then everybody else killed each other. But then apparently in like where you're at, this like corporation took power, that controls everything. So it's like gotta like it's really cool because like it says like it felt like a very like 1984 vibes, and then like in the very beginning like references it, and like there's a puzzle about it. That's like, oh, that's cool. Um, but like yeah, like the text scroll at the beginning has like this whole thing about blah 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 blah, and then like in like red it's like you're an observer, which is like it's totally an homage from Blade Runner at the beginning when he's like when it's like you're a or the whole thing about like replicants and Blade Runners, and I can't remember which one is in red text, but it's very similar, and I thought that was cool, so I very much enjoyed that. But yeah, Observer, super cool game, super weird though, and and intense and weird as well, but definitely worth the time to check out. Um, and then Ruiner is like a neat game where basically you go through and you slice up and shoot up a bunch of stuff, and it's pretty cool and action packed and different as well. What else did I play? I think Destiny 2. I don't want to talk about it. F that game. I mean, there's a new raid. We played through it. It's whatever, dude. It is what it is. Same as it ever was. F that game. Um, Hot Shots as always. Fall Guys as always. I think I played some. What else did I play? Well, I didn't play a lot of, but I finished the DLCs for Spider-Man that are after Black Cat because I played that like when it came out, but I just didn't feel like playing the other stuff. So I finally played the Turf Wars or whatever, and then the Silver Lining. So that whole I didn't know they were tied together either. So it's like really cool to like play through them and be like, oh, it ties back into the whole Black Cat thing. But it'd been such a long time since I played them. I was
Ah.
like, that was neat. Also, it was neat because like at the beginning of Miles, you have the whole. Have you played it yet?
Little, not. Are you talking about Spider-Man or are you talking about
I'm
Miles?
talking about Miles.
No,
Okay, well, basically,
I heard you can finish that game in 7 hours.
it's not very long, but yeah, you can. Um, basically I didn't know that like the third or like that whole trio of DLCs was like tied into the or not that it was tied into, but basically it's like an endpoint, and then Miles picks up like sometime closely after that because there's a whole reference in the third one to an area or a place that was neat. And then also in the DLC, because I hadn't played it, it was cool because like Peter's having these talks with Miles and like stuff about his powers and training and all that stuff. So I thought that was cool because I was like, oh, I hadn't played this. So it's like after playing Miles and being like, that was kind of weird where it picks up. It's like playing that DLC. It's like, oh, I can see why it like picked up here after it ended there in the DLCs. Um, I did play some Miles as well. Probably not really, but I played that game a lot. I played through it twice, and I started a third playthrough with the high frame rate option, but I couldn't tell a difference. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it here in case I want to go. In case everyone like play through it again, and I'll just like leave a save at the beginning. So I'm on my like yeah, because I have like first playthrough, new game plus playthrough, and now I'm on my third playthrough. But I still haven't unlocked everything, so it's kind of annoying. Because I mean, that being said, I didn't do all the like stuff on my first playthrough, so I don't have enough of the tokens to unlock all the sweet gadgets. But I got like almost all of them, so I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm not going to worry about it. And I checked the trophy list, and it's like I don't feel like trying to get the platinum, so I'm basically done with that game for a while. And then Spider-Man, I don't have the PS5 version; it's just the PS4 version. So I might. I mean, I might go back and do all the side stuff, but like not anytime soon because Cyberpunk's almost here, so I'm at a good stopping point for that. And I think that's. I might have played some other PS4 stuff because I hooked up my external hard drive just to like do some things, but I don't think I actually played anything. Because I played. I mean, yeah, it's nothing worthwhile or talking about. So I think that's it.
There you go. So what else have you been? So you've just run through a gambit, of course. Destiny as being you've gotten rid of that, so that's good.
What do you mean I've gotten rid of it?
Well, you used to be addicted to it.
I'm not addicted to it.
Yeah, got my Destiny. Yeah.
Oh, I played Star Wars Squadrons. It is not like Rogue Squadron. I thought it was just going to be like that, but like in first person. But it's actually completely different. It plays like its own thing. It feels very different. It's got its own style and everything to it. And you have to like modulate your shields and weapons and speed. It is very similar, but it's completely like yeah, like they're both like vehicle combat, but one's first person and you're stuck in there and you have to like do things. You get a couple different craft. But then the wingman controls, like I would say, is not as good 'cause you can only really tell them to like attack and defend, and a couple other things. It doesn't. It's whatever, dude. Yeah. It just. I thought it was weird because I played it and I was like, it wasn't bad, but it's not, in my opinion, as good as Rogue Squadron. And then, or just like those games. And then like I also felt it was weird because like there's no cameos. I mean, there might be because I haven't seen Rebels or like the last season of Clone Wars. So there's some characters in there that could be cameos, but I'm like, where are the cameos, dude? Because like in Rogue Squadron, the first one anyway, like the first mission you do, or the second, I believe, there's a cameo from Han Solo. He shows up and it's like, oh cool, it's Han, oh man. So that's kind of weird to like be playing this game that's got so many characters and like such a long, convoluted timeline now, thanks Disney. And it's like, oh, what do you know? There's no. Oh, I mean, I guess it's Wedge Antilles is there for like a second, and like, yeah, that's it. I was like, oh, and then they like even reference Rogue Squadron. I'm just like, ah, come on, that's you gonna do me like that? Whatever. But overall, I did enjoy it. It was not the best, but it's also not the worst. So I got it on sale for Black Friday, so that's why I played it.
Good. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. So, uh, besides Cyberpunk now, because now this is kind of like the last big game that you're excited about for 2020. What are you looking forward to in 2021?
Well, according to that video PlayStation just put on their YouTube a bit ago, Horizon Forbidden West is next year, so that's at the top of my list. And then also it says Gran Turismo 7 and God of War. I think it's a God of War, not Ragnarok. If not God of War, it had Ratchet and Clank, but I've never really played the Ratchet and Clank games. So definitely the top of my list is effing Horizon, but that probably won't be anytime soon. Mass Effect for sure, which who knows when that's coming out. But yeah, But that's all the games in like one game, so I'm happy it's like a collection and not just like one at a time for sure. Gran Turismo, yeah, because I always love the Gran Turismos. I guess that's like my top three right now because we really don't know what's coming next year because E3 got so jacked this year and like they're having and Game Awards I believe is also Thursday, so we'll have some new games to be looking forward to, but hopefully it's stuff that's actually coming out next year, not like oh man this game's coming out but there's no date at the end of the trailer, or like it's just we're going to show it super early and like delay it later on like so many other games. So please be excited.
Mhm. All right. And what is one genre of video games that you never play?
Oh, that's easy. I hate effing roguelikes, dude. F roguelikes. I don't play Souls games. And I'm pretty on sports games for the most part. So, but that's three. You said one, but that's three. There you go.
So you don't play uh, the Demon Souls games
Hmm.
because they are um, you don't why don't you like them?
Because they're more hard than fun. I don't find enjoyment in dying over and over, and I just don't like that mechanic of like, oh, you're gonna get through it eventually after you die XYZ amount of times, or just like it's whatever, dude. It's
But
just it's not appealing to me.
wouldn't it be exciting to learn how to beat a game and then because you're a man who replays games,
No,
wouldn't you
not all
like
the time. Depends on the game.
well, depends on the game. But if you work so hard to beat it the first time, wouldn't you want to do it the second time and then then you have all the skills needed to beat them and then just
No,
get
that's not
no?
how those games work, dude. Like that's just they are very brutally beating you down as you slowly learn what not to do, and then even then it's just like I was playing Sekiro. I wasn't even at a point where I was like dying over and over. I just like was playing it and I came to the realization I was like, you know what? I'm not really having fun. This isn't fun. I'm not enjoying this, and I just stopped playing. So I was just like, you know what? It's just yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. Because I was just it's yeah, nope, 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 nope. It's more than one reason besides the difficulty and like that thing, but it just that definitely doesn't help. But just yeah, that doesn't help. But then just like the pacing, the action, the combat, the gameplay is just ugh. And then yeah, so whatever.
And so that's one. And what was the other genres?
Roguelikes and then most sports games. Free to play too, like depending on what it is and like the mechanics of it. I just F free to play games. Not really a fan of puzzle games either, really, most of the time. I feel like I had a list before at some point. I was like, but I don't have it on top of my head anymore. So, but yeah, those are the ones I don't really like.
Um, hmm, that's okay. And so, what's your besides RPGs and all that? What's your favorite? If you were to rank your top four genres, which would be like number four, and work it up to where your favorite one of all time?
Okay, number four. Well, I know what my top two are. So let me think here. I guess I guess number four would be fighting games because like I still like them. It's just like I don't like them as much. I just like the stuff that NetherRealm does with their games, where it's like it has like story, and then like it's just like a seamless cutscene that is just broken up between fights. I think that's like the way to go. Other games have kind of started to incorporate that into their story as far as like fighting games, but then fighting games have never been really about I mean, from like the non-casual perspective, it's more about like other stuff, the minutia of like the 1v1 matchups and like the meta and like learning the all the moves and all the ins and outs of like the frame data, blah blah blah. But it's like I don't get into them that much anymore. I just want to play them casually for fun. So it's like that's why they're for. And I will still play them. I will play them. It's like it will never get old jumping into like Street Fighter to like play some Ryu and like throw some Hadoukens and Shurikens, or like jump into Tekken and play as Lin Jiayu or Jin Kazama. It's always gonna be fun. Um, geez, number three. Whew, that's man. Number three. Number three, I guess. I see. It's what. Number three, I'll say JRPGs, just because they are like a tried and true formula, and I will never get tired of them either. Like
Hmm.
it's always fun to like have some insert whatever the premise or story or whatever is for the game, and you've got like the insane sometimes good, sometimes bad character designs that are like, oh man, that character looks really cool with the spiky hair, like a giant sword, or 5,000 belts, or their big windows that they just can't help themselves with. And it's like,
Hmm.
oh, don't mind that. And like they've had like sometimes they have like super insane plot twists, or they're just like super weird, like Near Automata. Woo, man, that game, so good. Um, but yeah, just the characters. Also, just yeah, man. Like Orin from Final Fantasy X, Vivi from Final Fantasy IX. Also Freya, dude. Like they have some of like the best characters. They're just like you go through things with them, and they stay with you forever. Just so good. Um, yeah, man. Like Cloud Strife and like the entire cast of Final Fantasy VII. I will never forget that game. Like it will always be close to my heart. Also Chrono Trigger. Effing one of my favorites of all time. Even if it's like super old school, I don't care. Like that form, like I said, that formula is always going to work with turn-based strategy or combat, and just like I will always enjoy it. So it's number three. Number two would be open world games because you can kind of get away with a lot in that as far as like what is an open world game and like what constitutes an open world game. Because I mean, I guess, damn, I just thought about something. I kind of like dropped a genre, but it's whatever. So it's fine. I mean, I'd rather play a JRPG than WRPG anyway, so it's whatever. And then like those are all over the place. Anyway, that's your thing about like open world games though, is it feels like there's a lot of games that can be open world, but like also like multi genres. It's like Witcher 3 is like a RPG game, but it's also open world because it takes place in open world. So like as long as you have like an open world, whatever you can like, there's so much you can do with it. Like if you compare like Breath of the Wild versus Witcher 3 versus GTA 3 versus San Andreas versus GTA 5 versus Far Cry 3. I mean, Far Cry 3 is a first person shooter, but it's open world. Like you can't argue it's not open world. Like that's why I love the Far Cry games. Like 1, 2, and 3. Like 4 and beyond, I haven't played them. I stopped at Primal, but like those were some of my favorite games. Like just just from like gameplay and like they're fun because you just go in. I always hate when I'm talking about games and it's like out of context because I sound like a sociopath, but it's like whatever. You go in and you just like kill stuff, and like you open up the map and you just like have a giant map and you just like go in and kill things and just have fun and just have a bunch of cool guns to like kill stuff with. Same with Borderlands. It's like, I mean, you just go in and oh geez. As I'm talking about games, I'm thinking about more of them, but it's like it's whatever, dude. I already said it, so it's whatever. But like yeah, like you just go in with your friends, giant map, kill stuff, have a sweet loot, crazy enemies, crazy story, crazy bosses, fun times, claptrap, it's the whole thing. Yeah, dude, Horizon, like easily my favorite. Witcher 3, Horizon, like they're really neck and neck, gunning it out for like the top spot there. But I'd say Witcher 3, of course, because like I hear good things about Assassin's Creed. I believe it's Odyssey and Origins. I haven't played them though because I'm just kind of on Assassin's Creed. I just don't care anymore. So yeah, eventually. But yeah, just like having giant open worlds to, like do whatever and just like when they're done really good, they're so good. And like yeah, that's the other thing is like they're usually pretty good about like just populating the world with like a bunch of stuff to do. And then
Hmm.
and then like if there's stuff like or there are games like I'm trying to think of some examples here. Or like I mean there's like a skill tree in Horizon. And then like there's the Spider-Man games are kind of open world too, yeah, 'cause they're open world. But like, there's a lot of games where like you have skill trees and you have like all these side things to do. But then as you're doing the side stuff, you get like the level of your character, and like play a certain way that you like Skyrim. Like we both played Skyrim, and like we were talking about our
Hmm.
adventures in Skyrim. So it's like I had like a Warhammer person that would just like go up and hit things, and then eventually I was like getting into the magic more and more. But then if I ever want to replay it, not that I ever would, because after that game, I would, could do like a magic build of like, oh, I got magic and just go heavy on the magic, or pull some archery with my arrows. But that's one example. Or like Mass Effect Andromeda is open world, so there's like 6 different classes, so you could play Vanguard or Sentinel or Infiltrator or Soldier or Engineer or crap, I missed one. Adept. There you go. So there's like six
Hmm.
different classes, 6 different ways to approach each combat situation, and then on top of that, you have like the whole morality of like Paragon Renegade, good evil, play down the middle, or just do whatever that. So yes, you have an open world, but there's like so much you could do with that if you're a good developer and making good games. I mean, like I said last time we talked about it, but I enjoyed Andromeda. F the haters. So
Mm, mm, mm.
And then my
The most
most
hated of all the series when they got I was reading this they talk about Mass Effect, but they never talk about redoing Andromeda.
well, that's because it's the most recent. So, that was PS4 and or just now on PS5. So it's the most recent one. So, and for whatever reason, got like the most. Well, didn't get the most backlash. I would say three's ending was like the most divisive and most backlash ish. But like four, I mean, sorry, not four, but Andromeda when it came out, like everybody was like so like up in arms about like, oh, the animations on the face, blah blah blah, like or whatever. Just it was thrown. It was. I feel like it was thrown out of not or thrown out of proportion, but like thrown out of it was taken out of not context. There's it whatever. It didn't deserve all the scrutiny that it got. It just wasn't that bad, and it was a good game. At least I enjoyed it. I don't care, so whatever. Just that people didn't like it. That's their opinion, but I disagree. So whatever. But yeah, yeah. That's too bad. But yeah, my most favoriteest genre is the I don't know really what to call these because it's basically just like the Telltale style or the Quantic Dream style of like you you the like the new adventure style, the new adventure game style where it's like you're playing through a game, you have choices, it affects the outcome, and then like you go from point A to point B, and then you have you can have at least Telltale games anyway. You can have like a completely different outcome than somebody else. You can just like talk about your choices, and then like how things ended up. Because like Walking Dead, dude, that was the best. It's like still the best in my opinion. Just like season one anyway, final season as well. Just like effing amazing. Just that whole adventure of Clementine from beginning to end, untouchable. And then like Quantic Dream and like their way of doing it with not Heavy Rain. Well, Heavy Rain is like one of them, but like effing like Beyond Two Souls, Detroit, love them. I just effing love it. It's just like the way they do it. And it's just like you're just in the scenes and it's so intense. And then like the choices, but then they kind of go like even like a notch above Telltale because it's like based on like how you're playing in the moment. Like if you miss a button prompt, somebody could effing die, and it's like and just you gotta like be whoo man. It can get super intense. It's just like oh man. Like if yeah, it's like that's the thing of like that when you start caring about like what's happening and like what your characters are going through. Because I remember Heavy Rain, there's like a sequence where like you're in a building that's on fire and you're like, and I was like, I don't want my character to die. So, but then they like died, and I was like, no, I'm not dying. F that crap, and like I reloaded my save, and I was like, I'm not. No, I like because usually I would play and just like let things play out.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
if I feel like I got effed on that of like I pushed the button. No. or just
Yeah.
like I'm not letting this person die like this. No.
Yeah, you pulled the trigger, baby. That's right.
Man, there is a sequence like that in Heavy Rain where there's this dude that oh my gosh, I'm trying to think what happened. There's like a dude that like jumps your partner when you're investigating the scene. I can't remember if I shot him or not though. I think I shot him. But that's the thing is like when we were talking about this on the podcast, like me RPG and Tropical, I was like I shot him, but the dude didn't have a knife. He just had like a crucifix. And then like RPG and Tropical were like I didn't shoot him. My partner's a dick. And I was like what? Come on guys. And it's just like evil humans and like how they play things. Also, Tropical knows what he did. He shot that woman in the parking lot in Telltale Episode 1, Walking Dead.
Oh,
He's a
good.
terrible person. Every day I will call him out on that. I'm sorry. I mean that's just me. That's just me because like I developed a whole code of ethics playing that game
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
what to do in a zombie apocalypse scenario. I was like,
Yeah.
women and children first. No mercy kills because it's still killing somebody, and if I can diplomatically resolve the
Hold on a
solution
sec.
without
Hold on
killing
a sec.
somebody, that's always the way
Okay,
to
so
go.
all right, so let's just say this: if I get bit and I'm in your party, all right,
Yeah.
you're not gonna put me out of my misery. What are you gonna do? Hit me with your foam bat?
Not immediately. I I
You're
can't
gonna
do it
wait.
in good. I can't do it in good faith because that's murder. I can't. We can't, like if everybody like followed that rule, then we're all just a bunch of murderers, and we don't deserve to survive. If there is no line that you will not cross to survive, then like that doesn't that like then you have turned into a monster, and like we're just a world of monsters. Then what's the point? What's even the
Hmm.
point of surviving if we're all just a bunch of monsters that are going to murder each other?
Hmm.
So I would
There
like
you go.
quarantine you, wait until you turn, and then kill you. And then it's like, I didn't kill you because you're a zombie. I killed a zombie. Or I killed zombie you. I killed zombie buff, but not buff.
Okay.
Because then I would be traumatized for life if I killed you. because it's like I can't get the image out of my head of how I killed you when you were still human. At least in real
Well,
life, I believe that's how that would happen. I'd just be
well,
traumatized from all the
if
people
I
I'd killed that have gotten
if
bit in the head in turn. Of like, well, they were kind of partway zombie, but not fully zombie. So, but it's like, but they weren't entirely not human. So, yeah, you killed them. You're a jerk. You're a terrible person.
Yeah. Listen, if I was being annoying, I don't think you'd waste much time,
Well, you're
to be
wrong.
honest. This is for Cyberjack. It's Cyberpunk.
I would not do that.
Tekken, I think he's dead. Give me more bullets.
Whatever.
It's boom, cyber, boom, punk, boom, 2077. There.
But then also, I would say like on top of those two, because they're semi uh what's the word I'm trying to think of? Similar genres. Like there's also the Wells Interactive. They're making really good games where it's like they're FMV style though, so it is like in that same vein, but it's like it's a movie you watch, but as you're watching it, you like click your choices, but it's so seamless, it never pauses the action. So Late Shift, I haven't played the Complex, so I'm not sure if that's the same thing, but if it's anything like Late Shift is like the perfect example of just like that type of game as well, where it's just like you're, well, you don't really play because you're watching it, but like you make choices as it's happening, and you can like have your results and consequences, and like at the end be like, oh, that's what I got, and talk to your friends about it, and be like, oh, what did you choose? What terrible things did you do, or not
Yeah.
do?
Mm-hmm.
It's always a fun time.
Fun. You, yeah. Okay.
What are your four favorite genres?
Um, I do like the open world. I think I'll put that as number one. I love strategy. I love the
Oh man,
XCOM and all that.
dude,
So,
man, that's another honorable mention. I love XCOM and Final Fantasy Tactics, and just
yep.
but they don't seem to like make them very often. So there's that too.
No, no, but I love it
Because
because
there's
at
like
least with
XCOM, there's
XCOM,
Fire Emblem, there's this guy. There's not too many.
yeah.
So, but man, yeah,
That,
XCOM. I
so
remember that was like that. XCOM was like a cultural like moment in games of like, have you played it? And it's just like when you're like got like 99% to hit and you miss and you're just like, oh, and like everybody knows that. Everybody
yep,
knows that. It's
yep,
just like I hate that.
yep, yep, and you missed that shot. I still remember some of my super teams that I put together in the XCOM game back in the PS3. uh when it came to like and I still I had a super team, like I had three snipers and all I get on my team, and my major sniper, which was like my girl who got most kills because she was sniping, right? And then she's the one that got knocked. I brought her up two forward, and she got snuffed out. I'm going,
Oh,
oh,
that's
and
the other
then
thing. It's like they're dead forever. It's like
yep,
no.
yep, yep, and as soon as that happened, my team just broke apart. It was just like it just was horrible. So I love them. It's things like, and I do we put Sid Meier's Civilization in with that kind of a thing?
I mean, it is strategy, but it's a different kind because it's
Is it
turn
there?
based.
Let's put strategy based games.
Okay.
Those are always my favorite. Um, Sports is like say honorable mentions. I hardly play any sports now. I'm not like I gotta buy hockey. I gotta play. No, I don't. I did I did have there's a PS4 version of last year's hockey for $20 because the new one just came out. And I said, "Oh, would it be interesting to play? Maybe." But I decided not to. I won't invest the money on that. So, but I do like a good game of golf. If that's a genre all to itself, I'll put that down. Um, I thought PGA 2020 or 2021, 2K21. I thought it was on sale over Black Friday. So I checked the PlayStation store to see if it was as cheap as what they're saying. No, regular price. So I said, nope, not going to buy it. Maybe it drops down to the $40 range. Maybe I'll pick it up just to see, right? But we'll go from there. Um, open world is because open world is open possibilities, and I love exploring. As was Skyrim, I loved this year. I loved exploring and seeing what's around this corner, what's around that corner. Oh, here's something. that has vampires in it. Oh, that's fantastic. And so there's good and bad to that. The good is that you get to see different things and you're not part of some story that you're dragging along, right? But you also play most of the game. And so then I said, "Oh, you gotta kill this vampire." And then in your speech pattern is, "Oh, okay, here's already did. Here's his medal." So you miss out on the whole story because you're so far ahead of yourself. You finished it, right? So it's a double-edged sword. Um, at the same time, uh, strategy open world is fantastic. I never really played many RPG games. When I first started playing games, it was mostly sports, but then I got into playing Dragon Quest. That was the game that kind of broke the mold. I don't really play a lot of RPGs, but if it's a Dragon Quest game, I'm definitely in on it because that's just it's only like the second or third platinum I ever did in a game.
Have you played other RPGs besides Dragon Quest?
I can't get into that Final Fantasy if you gave me a
I mean, like
thousand dollars.
after,
It's
I mean,
still
like
not
after,
good.
like now that you've played Dragon Quest, have you like gone back to them and like played them when they're like
Nope,
around?
nope. I played Rogue Galaxy, but that was again, it was another one. It was made by the same people who made Dragon Quest, so I did that right, and that was a good game. I maxed out all my fighters, so it was like easy after three-quarters of the game. It was like bing, 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 nice and quick. But I no, I just can't get into I just can't get into Final Fantasy stuff. I tried. It was like the more and the thing was Final Fantasy, it was like it was on the go. It wasn't a pause kind of a thing. There's a certain some games for like PS3, PS2 was like, oh, you're still playing. Oh, you got to pick your things, and it's like, oh, you're caught in the moment, right? But nothing really appeals to me. It's weird. It's very weird because I do put my investment, my time into like a Dragon Quest, into a Fallout, into a Skyrim, yes, but into something like a Final Fantasy 8, no, because
Hmm.
because I am building a life outside of video games. It's not my it's not much of one. So every 5 years, I'll or 3 years, I'll invest in a long game. But I can't invest three long games into a year. So that's why you see golf mostly in my timeline, or you see Spider-Man, something different, something that kind of like we talked about earlier on, cleanses the palate, right? You can only play golf for so long before golf gets boring. I'm on my way to 120 tournaments, all right, in everybody's golf. I'm right now at 93. So I'm hoping for sometime in January to finally hit 120 and then I'll unlock that person. And then oh, I hit a hole in one this week. Just to let you know. It was the tornado hole though, so I can't really take full credit for that. But I got lucky. I got a Sean LaBelle. There you go. Anyways, um but I'm just saying my main one's open world, strategy based, and very quick sports games. I'd love to play long seasons of baseball and all that back in the Ken Griffey Jr. baseball days, but I just can't anymore. There's too much to go and not enough to show. So it's like I gotta do that. And that's my answers.
So
I like something that um interests my mind. So strategy based, open world where you can go anywhere and see the whole world, et cetera, et cetera.
okie
And
dokie.
non hoochies and no hoochies. I deal with them enough in real life. Lord knows I don't need to deal with them in video games. So that's good. That's good. All right. Anything else you want to talk about today?
PS5. How are you enjoying it?
I have not bought a PS5 game as of yet. Bug Snacks. I just can't get into it. It's interesting, but it's like one of those things is it's got to try to suck me in at the very start, and right now it's just sucking. And but it hits a lot of memory. It takes a lot of memory in that game. But I hope PlayStation Plus does this for the next thing comes out in January. Is that they give you like games that don't take a lot of memory but are nice quick little hits. Like I know you don't like puzzle games and all that kind of stuff. That's what they should do at the start for this PS5. Just little puzzle games, little like sports kind of things, nothing that takes too much memory. And then once they get a catalog going of PS5 games, then you can start bringing out the big hits again, right? So that's what I'm hoping for. I say this: keep your main course. All right, keep your main course on the table, which is the PlayStation Store, but keep the appetizers on your PlayStation Plus. That's what I would say.
Hmm.
You get what I'm meaning?
Yeah.
Just have a little nibble. Just have something that has a little nibble, but save the big courses for the table. That's what I'm saying.
I mean that is doable, but I feel like if you did that, I mean I feel like they're not. It'll be a while before they're giving us
Because
like the top tier PS5 games on Plus,
yes,
but I
exactly.
think
So
for
don't
like they just gave us Shadow of War, so it's like they're giving us good PS4 stuff, which is cool because you can play it on PS5. But
and that's also a good thing because you can play both. If just don't just nibbles, just little nibbles on the PS5 options. But if you want to start throwing PS4 games like big hitters out there for you, go all nuts.
yeah, I was gonna say
Go all
they'll
nuts.
probably do that because otherwise people would complain. But then there's also like the PlayStation Collection or whatever. So there's plenty of stuff out there if you've got Plus to like jump into.
Yeah, good, perfect. All right then, good sir. And how are you enjoying your PS5?
Um, besides like
Is it as Go ahead.
besides like the moments where it was like scaring me when I thought I was like dying because of like the issues I was having with my external drive hooked up and like it would have like black screen issues or just like randomly cut out or like just randomly shut down. It's like, oh, now that I haven't had that happen in a while, I'm less stressed out about it. But yeah, I mean, it's weird, dude. It's like there's like some small things I don't like. I don't like the fact that when you download a patch, it'll still do the thing where it like installs it, but then it's copying and it like takes like 30 minutes to copy, and at least in Destiny 2 because it's such a big game. That's still annoying. Um, like all the UI differences is annoying, and like the fact that I can't figure out the whole like how to get everybody's voice chat on our streams is annoying, or the fact that it's like even bugged in the first place is annoying. It's just like the small stuff that's like not patched out yet, as far as like since it just came out, it's not. I feel like a beta tester at this point. I guess is what I'm saying. It's like I feel like a PS5 beta
Hmm.
tester because there's like small issues. Because I remember like man, I'm trying to think. I had a couple crashes here and there. PS4 had like no crashes for like the like within the first like month I had it. So it's like that's already like a red not a red flag, but just like a mark on the scorecard of like not as good or just like whatever, just like a mark against it, I guess. So there's that. It's just like a bunch of small stuff like that. So but it's nothing. There's nothing like
Excellent.
major or substantial. I'm kind of annoyed that like there's no more themes. Or like not so much themes, just like the wallpapers of like the background that you can't really like change it because it's like the game page, and you can't really have a cool like dynamic theme thing going on in the back or dynamic background in the background. It's just whatever the game logo is. So I'm hoping they add that eventually back in or something like that back in,
Hmm.
or some way to like use
There
all
you
the
go.
PS4 ones that I've gotten over time because I had so many and like I can't really use them now. So that kind of sucks. They didn't like the fact they didn't like really think. I guess, or maybe they just didn't consider that, or maybe they're gonna add it back later. I don't know. It's also kind of weird
Yeah.
because I feel like as far as like PS5 and PS4 go, since you can like play PS5 games, or I'm sorry, since you can play PS4 games on PS5, I feel like you really only need like a. I mean, you don't, but like, because there might be like reasons why you need a PS2, but like, I feel like if you have a PS5 because it plays PS4 games, you're good on PS5 and PS4, and then if you have like a PS3 that plays PS1, 2, and 3 games, it's like fully backwards compatible. Like you just need a PS5 and PS3, and you're good. But like, there are some games where it's like because of like a dance pad game or something, or like a Guitar Hero game, like you might actually need to still have the old hardware. But for the most part, you only need like a PS3 and PS5 right now to play most of the PlayStation back catalog, which is nice. And they still haven't added like a substantial amount of those games that are from that era to the Xbox's backwards compatible what is it called, program. So hopefully they can catch up. If not, whatever. So kind of bummed out. It's not like just easy backwards compatibility, but whatever. So
Oh yeah, well, that's good. All right then, Mister. Is that it for today?
I guess it is.
All right, ask me a question. I got a question I want you to ask me. I want you to ask me about my thoughts on Ghost Rider.
What are your thoughts on Ghost Rider?
That car is the stupidest concept I've ever seen in my whole entire life. That is stupid. That is trying to make it a modern time. Screw that. Motorcycles are cool. Don't get on them, but they're cool. And Johnny Blaze. And I'll give him a Danny Ketch. I'll give Danny Ketch a little bit of a love here, But everything else, crap. There you go. That's my rant. That is my rant because I'm going to tell you exactly. Ghost Rider, motorcycle, head on fire, good like this. Car, no, horrible, goodbye. There you go.
Oh, I just thought of something because we haven't talked about politics with all this podcast. So do you want to like throw some politics in at the very end, or just keep it gaming only for like the first time in a long
Uh,
time?
I would say let it wait until till they certify.
Okay, I
All
think it's
right,
on the
because
14th as they vote for the electoral
yeah,
college. So
but he said yesterday that there's things coming in the days to come but he's been saying that since the election that there's big things coming. There's big things coming. Keep keep giving me your money. Keep giving me your money and things are coming. Don't worry. The things are coming, Tekken. You gotta believe him because he's been saying it for the last month. But things are coming. So we'll see. And poor Julie, he got himself uh, with the COVID, so that's not good. He has COVID now. In case you didn't catch the news lately,
oh,
Julie
I saw.
really, yeah. And then now, and of course, he's having all these trials and all that, of course he's not wearing a mask. So now he gave probably that drunk girl probably gave her the COVID.
Oh my gosh, dude! I forgot there was a bit I wanted to do about the whole what was it called? The what book? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember now, dude. But like that was
The vote book.
yeah. I just wanted to open with
Yeah.
that bit of like
Didn't
the
you
vote book. Ah, I can't even do it now. It's like it's been too long. Whatever.
like it's been out by like 100,000,
Yeah, it was like yeah, it's whatever.
like 100,000.
Oh man.
Uh, and wow, what did you do something to it? Like that's the worst part is that when you listen to her talk, you said, "Man, that sounds like Buff." Maybe you did something to it. It's like because I'm full of bull crap. Now you got a woman right there. She's full of bull crap. That sounds like Buff. He'd make up stuff like that. Absolutely. Maybe it is something to it. Now, something. Sometime next time we're playing Fall Guys, which probably be next month because you've developed standards. Well, you'd be something. If you finish Cyberpunk in the first 12 hours, you'll be able to come out and play.
It's not that dude, really.
Maybe it is something to it. There you go. I'm gonna make sure to say that. You're gonna say, and I'm gonna say that line, and you'll know what it means. Nobody else will. Maybe you did something to it. Oh man, I could have made it to the crown, but I jumped up and I missed it. Maybe you did something to it.
Oh
Exactly.
man.
It'll be good. I'll make it fit in somewhere. That's what she said. Anyways, so anyway, if I sign us out, my good sir.
All right. So yeah, that's it for Tekken and Buff Save the Universe. You have been
Yes,
saved by the power of
by
our
the power
friendship.
of our
So
friendship.
until you
Yeah,
see or
exactly.
hear from us again,
And I've upped my standards, so up yours.
stupid duck.
There you go.
Until you see or hear
Stupid
from us
duck.
again, we're now signing off.